What's up, everybody? I want to share with you guys my dad's 1860 Crestliner. There have been a lot of questions on the channel lately about what is this boat that we're fishing out of, and this is what you guys primarily see me on when I'm down here in Okeechobee with him. This is his rig. He has modified it. I just want to share in more detail, well, rather let him share with you in more detail what he's done, and kind of go through it bit by bit.
Well, to clarify things, nobody is ever satisfied with their boat. They think their boat is going to be served as many purposes as possible, and to get the perfect boat, forget it. But you can get them where you need them. This boat came new from the factory. At this point, this deck was fully decked, and at this point it was decked back here. So I didn't want to step in and out of the boat from top down because I'm older and my back hurts. So I framed it all out. You can see by aiming down in there, you can see how the frame, I used some 3/16 by inch and a half angle. Did a lot of TIG welding in there and some bolting and nutting and all. Framed it all out, made a skeleton in there, and then I decked it over with 1/8 inch aluminum plate. Sealed it with some caulking and all that. Very, very sturdy to walk on. This gave me more width between the edge of the boat and the console, so before I did that, it was a little too narrow in there and a little wobbly on the old man. So anyway, the deck gives it plenty of fishing room. You've seen the videos of how we can just walk around this thing, and I mean quickly and safely. Big improvement. I prepped all this and put some sand in the paint and all that in the primer, and then painted over the top. It's kind of nasty now from us fishing out of it. But anybody who has a boat similar to this that really wants to improve on it as far as fishability, room, being able to get around, this is the way to go. I've had many compliments from a lot of friends, a lot of people at the boat ramp over what I've done on this, and I'm truly happy. And the front section here, I made a hatch that is removable. Take the cooler loose, scoot it out of the way. I've got a couple of latches right there. I can lift that lid up, and I store my batteries for my trolling motor. One sets right underneath this section on this side, and the same on the other side. The 24-volt trolling motor, it's all wired up through there and through the floor and all, and so that made a tremendous difference. Inside here there's nothing but storage area for whatever you want, and I have plastic containers in there for that. Also in this modification, I had to move the console. Console was back 5.5 inches that way from where it originally was. In order to gain the room that I needed, I had to move the console up. It also helped with the weight balance on there. So that was another thing. You have to, you got to put some thought into this stuff when you go to modifying a boat. Think about, how you're going to anchor it and all that. The way this thing was anchored down from the factory, I didn't like, so I had to improve on that. I put that leaning post in there. I bought it after I got the boat, and it originally mounted back about 5.5 inches onto the back deck. Well, in order to make room on the back deck for coolers and people, more space, I moved that ahead, which dictated moving this ahead as well. You got to move that same amount, so I've got room to get inside there with my big old fat belly. But there's a lot of things to think about. Maybe if any of you guys got any questions, you can get with Brent over the channel, and he can relate those questions to me, and I can possibly answer them for you. But it's cut and dry. If you're into fabrication, or you know somebody that does this kind of stuff, it's really not rocket science. But it's worked out well for me, this boat is probably one of the most fishable boats I've ever, in fact, it is the most fishable boat I've ever owned in my life. But I bought it in 2020, and it's taken a few years to get it up to par. I had to, improve on I put the Raptors on it here a couple of years ago now, and, if you're fishing shallow water like we do all the time, if you don't have dual power poles on the back of your boat, or Raptors, Minn Kota Raptors, same thing, you're missing out on the real deal on being able to anchor yourself down on fish, as well as using a Minn Kota Charova spot lock is what I have. Brent's got a Garmin on his, but that's just, I couldn't afford that. He's got, you know, deep pockets and I don't. But and also I got a jack plate on this thing. Y'all probably see me using that once in a while. You get in some shallow water, you can jack plate it up 6 inches. You can run some skinny stuff. That's great for, you know, diving out of holes. If you're in some shallow stuff and you need to, if you know what a jack plate is about, that's what it is. It's about diving out of a hole and getting up on plane real quick. I don't have a problem with this boat. It's super light. Let's see. Back here.
Got your dual mount pullers here.
Oh yeah. So we mounted these on the boat, you know, just to carry 2 pullers when there's both of us out there fishing that dollar grass that you've seen us in the videos pulling holes in. Just stores them up out of the way so you're not tripping on them on the floor and stuff like that. And then on this thing here, on the leaning post, we mount these coolers back here too. So what I did was
normally we only have one, but
oh yeah, well,
this trip I brought mine down, so we have the dual catch counters.
Right. But also on that, what I did was I mounted some rod holders on the back of this leaning post. He'd show it through here, that I had that were left over from, I think they were mounted on the side. So I mounted those, and I mounted a little piece of 1x2 so the coolers would go up against that, and then just strapped them there so nothing rubs and, you know, makes all kinds of weird stuff. But anyway, that was the last improvement I did on that. I'm thinking about doing maybe a flip seat here and putting a storage compartment for light tackle up underneath here. That's kind of in my thought process right now. I mounted that shelf up underneath the console for, as you can see, we store a lot of garbage under there, you know, little tackle boxes. It's when you're fishing like that, you want to have everything accessible as quickly as possible. And you can crowd the boat up a lot when, like Brent and I, we both carry way too many rods.
No, you carry too many rods.
No. I carry what's necessary.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, you know, you just you load the boat up with a bunch of junk. The main thing is you need to be comfortable with your situation and be able to access your tackle and stuff like that. Especially if you're getting in some fish real heavy and you just can't stop and you want to make it happen. You've definitely got to have everything at your fingertips to make, and that's pretty much why I redesigned everything on this boat. That's why I carry 10 rods with me, because everything's got a different color on it, and you know, la-di-da. You can spend a ton of money by going that thought process if you want. But
yeah, the only thing that I've told him that kind of bugs me, because I mean, this deck's awesome, don't get me wrong, is when we have, you know, all our different jigging rods, maybe some Sam Heaton's, whatever, laying on this deck, you really got to watch where you're stepping, because you will step on them. You know, we've had people fishing with us that aren't as mindful of this stuff as we are, and you know, they'll be crunching all over the freaking rods. So that's the only kind of downside, but again, it's just being mindful of where you're stepping. I know we were kind of briefly talking about maybe making special rod holders for the rear seat jigging rods, maybe behind the seat or something, but that's still kind of in the works.
So I've got a buddy who's got a boat exactly like this, but it's an old model, like a 2000, same brand boat.
What year is this?
This is 2020. But his doesn't have the access hatches in the back. His is all closed in the back. And I mounted a power pole that I had actually given him, a power pole, and I had to mount the pump down in a little section in the back here. And now he's wanting to put another power pole on it. This boat comes with this whole deck comes out. There's 3 screws on each side. That whole deck comes out of there. I've got my 2 pumps mounted, one right here, one right there underneath. I've got 2 batteries. I've got this hooked up to 1, 2, or both batteries with the selector switch in the back. I don't want to go out there and have a problem with an electrical issue and not be able to get that thing started and get home. I also carry a jump starter box that I bought at DeWalt or something like that. So I carry that on the boat all the time, just in case. But you know, there's just all kinds of little things that you can do as far as your once you start fishing out there, you realize what you might need or what you'd like to have, and then I come home and I contemplate it, and I get a drawing and I start messing with it until I finally commit myself to the improvements that inevitably I have on this boat. But this is bad to the bone as far as fishability, and
yeah,
that's what you're looking for, the convenience and the safety of a boat that you're going to go out and enjoy the day without thinking about anything else, not having in the back of your mind, oh, I wish I had that, or I don't really like this on the boat or that. Go home, take care of it, fix it like I did, and or you know, hire somebody to do it for you. But you'll get your boat your way that you want it eventually, and when you do, it makes fishing a lot more fun. This is a grab handle that actually my brother-in-law's brother kind of designed these things, and so when you're spec fishing like I do and my son, a lot of times you'll get yourself situated and you want to stick that rod out there and maybe you know, find a little hole to drop your jig in and whatever. Well, you can only walk over here so far, and then you always want to lean a little bit further out. So this is designed that you can grab that thing, and a lot of times my body's way out here. I'll grab a hold of that thing with my left hand and I'll reach out with my right hand, and I'm not going to fall in. Whereas normally if I leaned out that far, I'd be over. But anyway, that helps, and that'll go in the front or the back. I actually gave Brent one of these that he's got for his boat as well. It just plugs into where your seat goes, the seat pedestal. So it's all, you know, there's nothing special about it. It's just, I custom built that one. I don't know anybody that makes them. We kind of custom fabricate stuff ourselves. My brother-in-law and his brother, they're both fabricators as well as myself. Was our trade, so you know, it's that's why we're able to do stuff. And I have, you know, the welding equipment and all that kind of crap to do this, so not everybody has access to that. I mean, just like that little support for my trolling motor, you can buy trolling motor supports from Bass Pro and all those other sources. Amazon's probably got them. I custom built mine. I probably got a lot more in it time wise and whatever, but it folds forward. It's got a little bungee, holds it back, and then it folds forward when you deploy the trolling motor, and doesn't really get in the way as far as anything. But it's just something I wanted to do. I mean, I could have bought one of them other ones and spent $150 on, but you know, it's easier for me to make stuff than spend money, you know. So little bracket that I put up here for my, you know, for my front mount for my Garmin. You know, it's just something that I did on my own. This bracket for mounting the Terova, to get it positioned on the boat where I wanted, I had to fabricate. There's a piece of aluminum underneath this, and then this is that plastic board, I don't know what they call it, but anyway, you know, I had to custom build all this stuff to accept the trolling motor, and it sticks off the deck a little bit, doesn't interfere with anything. But these are, you know, because otherwise I'd have had to mount the motor directly to this, and I didn't like the way I wanted to position the motor. This was the best case scenario for me. So it's all custom built. You know, and if you don't have the ability to do that, but you have the idea, you could spend some money with somebody going to a boat, you know, shop or whatever, unless you know somebody that's in, you know, fabricating business that likes to tinker with stuff like this. But anyway, just some things that I've got that I feel have been improved on this boat for the betterment of the safety and the fishability.
You made some modifications to the front of the trailer too, haven't you?
Yeah, I bought the trailer used, and then I totally redid the trailer. You know, I put a new axle in that. Well, that's because I hit a dead hog on the side of the road and it bent the spindle and everything on the old one. But that's another story, another day. But yeah, I made some modifications. So if I do this, deploy the boat myself, I can step from the boat down onto this little platform right here that I bolted on, or step up on it, you know, that way I can get out, get my truck out after I hook all this stuff up. I had to custom build this from parts from other, you know, stuff that I had laying around to fit my boat specifically. I put the side guide boards up on there specifically if you get a windy day and you need to, just because these boats are a little at slow speed, they kind of want to wander. So if you got some guide boards like that, you can roll right up on it and shoot straight in. It'll kick you around and shoot you straight up to the stopper. So that's another modification I did on it. Just, you know, different things that people need to do. I don't know, it's hard to explain. You know, the little guide post in the back. The sky's the limit on what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
How much you really want to put in it, how much time, and how much do you really need. Probably not near as much as what I've got in this to go out just to fish, but it's pretty cool to have set up your way. And when people question it, like, wow, that's pretty cool, they like, you know, the decking, I get, like I said, a lot of compliments on that. That makes me feel good, because I did something that I wanted to do anyway, and people are recognizing that it's, you know, real asset to the fishing experience. So
yeah,
anyway, that's pretty much it.
Cool. Anything else you want to show off?
Well, I'd like to show off more fish that we didn't catch this weekend, but
yeah, it wasn't a particularly super productive trip, but we did get into some bluegills.
It's not always about how many you catch, it's the experience and having a good time.
That's right.
You know, with your family, and that's what this is all about. My family comes down quite a bit. They visit, we go out in the boat, we fish, or we don't, but so it's all about that experience. You know, don't always look at it like you got to get the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
It's the experience, that the memories that you'll develop through the years. The fish is a bonus, and yeah, we catch a lot, you know, probably a lot more than we need sometimes, but we always utilize it. So I mean, it's not, and it makes days like this past weekend, when it was a little sparse for us, makes you appreciate the better days a little more. But the experience is all the same. You go out and you have a good time with your family, and that's what it's all about as far as I'm concerned.
Agreed. Well, that's going to pretty much wrap this up, guys. Like he said, if you have any questions about his Crestliner, just drop it in the comments below. Appreciate you guys watching. If you have any questions about any of the equipment that we use when we're fishing down here, a lot of those links are in the description below. So check those out, the catch counters, some of the rods, the unhook 'em tool, all that stuff. Links in the description. So that's about it. Y'all have a good one, and we'll see you on the next one.